Good morning, thank you for joining me. I hope everybody's well. I've been really looking forward to making this video. I had the idea for it a couple of months ago really, and I wanted to make sure that I did it at the exact right time, and beginning of January or mid-January, I guess now by the time you see this, feels like the perfect time. And just as I start filming, the sun decides it's going to come out. Lovely though that is, just bear with me while I go and close the blind, otherwise we're going to have really weird changing light throughout the whole. Right, hopefully that's sorted it. Now, I don't know about you, but at this time of year, I feel very hibernating. It's the beginning of the year, it's cold, it's winter, 'tis here anyway in the UK. It's cold, it's winter, it's dark mornings, dark evenings. There's not much to recommend going out, is there? And I find myself spending a lot of time at home during these months, which I do enjoy. I love being cozy and warm and, you know, spending time at home. I'm very much a homebody. I'm very much, I enjoy my own company, but I really want to stop. I'm sure we all do it, ladies, don't we? The doom scrolling, the scrolling through your phone mindlessly, picking up your phone for no reason and opening Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube. Probably shouldn't be mentioning that one, but there we are. But yeah, just scrolling through our phones pointlessly and needlessly for want of something better to do. Now, I have got today, I think I've got, let me just count because I haven't put numbers by them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ideas for winter hobbies to do to stop the scrolling, to engage your brain, or some of them not to engage your brain, but just different activities that perhaps we don't think of straight away. I've put together a list of suggestions, and I've also tried to keep them with minimal cost, because we're often feeling the pinch at this time of year, cost of living crisis, all of that sort of thing. Everybody doesn't have a whole heap of money to go out and spend on starting new hobbies, do they? So I've really tried to keep these. I think there's only one that costs more than a few pounds. So without further ado, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read and see what I'm talking to you about, and let's get on with this list of hobbies. The first one I have for you is jigsaws. I love a jigsaw. I get so many hours of pleasure out of doing jigsaws, and I tend to do them only in the winter. In the summer I've got other things to do with spending more time outside. Could say this about all these hobbies, I guess, but yeah, I do enjoy a jigsaw in the winter, and Ashley tends to join in. I always start them, and then Ashley gets involved as well, so it becomes a bit of a family thing, and he'll put a few pieces in, and as he passes. And the thing I like about jigsaws is there's no time pressure to get it done. You can do a few pieces here or there. I tend to get sucked in. The more I do, the more I want to do, but jigsaws are just such fun, and you get a lot of bang for your buck as well. I very, very rarely buy a new jigsaw. I get all my jigsaws from charity shops. You can pay £2 or £3 or £4 for them, and the amount of hours of pleasure I get out of one £3 jigsaw is unparalleled, really. The jigsaw I'm doing next is actually oh, sorry, I just knocked the tripod. You're balanced on 3 boxes of Christmas chocolates that are still left over. January is never a good month for diets, is it? Because there's always chocolate left over from Christmas. So this jigsaw, the one I'm doing next, is this Jane Austen jigsaw. This was actually a birthday present. This is a brand new one. I got it for my birthday last year from my mum, and this is the picture that's on it. I really like the little houses, and just the design of it. I feel like it's going to be quite easy to do with all the different characters and little people and different buildings. So I'm hoping that will be a nice easy one. It's 1,000 pieces, and I'm going to start it over the weekend, I think. Now, number 2 on my list, I couldn't leave this one off, although it is a very obvious one, is reading. Now, those of you who are not avid readers like me, because we're all different, aren't we? We all enjoy different things. I know a lot of you are avid readers, but I know that a lot of you probably aren't. But hear me out here. You don't have to sit down with a full-on novel. Go to the library, support your local library, because if we don't use them, we will lose them. I'm a big fan of saying that as well. And you can get books on travel, you can get recipe books, you can get books about history. You can get books about crafting and painting and just books on any subject you're interested in. And the joy of coming out of the library with a stack of unread books to flick through in front of the telly or to read if you are into reading novels, and it's free. Your local library, you can take books out free. I think I can take up to 8 at a time out of mine, plus electronic ones if you're into the electronic library lending things as well. So definitely worth thinking about, even if you're not an avid reader of fiction. Definitely worth a try. Number 3 on my list is something a bit different. It is called Murdle. I used to love, back in the day, puzzles on paper. So the Puzzler magazine. Anybody remember Puzzler magazine? And I used to love logic problems as well. That I think they had them in Puzzler magazines. You can get individual books just of logic problems. You can probably still get all these things, but I think we've moved on to playing games on iPads, haven't we? And I really used to enjoy doing puzzles on paper far more than I actually do on the iPad. Last year I picked up in a charity shop for 50p a little book of word searches, and I really enjoyed doing that. So when I read about this, which is logic problems, I thought, that sounds interesting. This is currently the #1 bestseller in puzzle books or something like that on Amazon. So I've heard about it. I can't remember where I heard about it, perhaps on YouTube, but I thought that's definitely for me. So it's called Murdle. That's what the puzzles look like. So if you've done a logic problem, you will know. But it's sort of a story through the book as well. I haven't started it yet. But it says in here, calling all crime-loving armchair detectives, and you join this detective, Detective Logico, as he investigates murders, and you go through the book from the beginning, working through it. There's a section on how to solve them, and you work through from easy to difficult. It gets more difficult as you go on. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this. But this is about, I should say, I'll link everything that I talk about down below. It's on Amazon. I'll put links in the description box, and I'll also put links in the pinned comment at the top of the comment section for anybody who struggles to find the description box. Bear with me, I just need to have a little sip of coffee. Next on my list is knitting or crochet. Now, I was a big fan of crocheting. I came to crocheting quite late in life. I can knit, but I've never been a great knitter. But I went on a little course at a local wool shop about, to say maybe 8 years ago, something like that, to learn to crochet, and I got really into crocheting, and for a couple of years I crocheted loads and loads, and then I just stopped. I tried to get back into it during lockdown and didn't enjoy it, and I was recently cleaning out a cupboard and I found all my old wool, and I thought, you know what, I'd really like to try and use this up. So I've got this big stash of wool, and I have decided to crochet 2 squares a week every week this year. These are the first 2 I've done. That's my first 2. It's a nice simple granny square pattern to get me back into it. And there's 200 different square designs in this book, so I'm picking them from that. I've had this book for years and years. If it's still available, I'll pop a link in below. But it's literally costing me nothing because I'm just using up scraps of wool that I've got. I'm not going to go matchy colours. I've just pulled out what I've got. I've got lots of other colours as well, that just little bits of leftovers, you know. And this can also go for any other craft that you've done and enjoyed, or sewing craft. You know, I bet you've got embroidery thread if you're a sewer or a cross stitcher. And I also love it because while I'm crocheting I can listen to a podcast, or I can have the TV on in the background, depending on how complicated what I'm doing is. But I'm just sort of reminding myself how to do it at the moment, and I've really enjoyed making these 2. I've got a little hour blocked off in my calendar for this afternoon to do a little bit more crocheting for week 2 of January, because as I film this we're already in week 2 of January, but because I've been away for a few days I'm sort of playing catch up. But yeah, definitely try getting back into knitting or crochet. And with this, it's just sort of bite-sized for me. I'm not knitting some great bowl, making some great big thing that is I'm committing to. When I've got all the squares at the end of the year, I should have over 100 squares, and I can perhaps make them into a big blanket, I thought. Number 5 is diamond painting. This is A, cheap, and B, super simple. This is for you if you have not got the bandwidth to learn something new or don't want to do something difficult. This is super simple. It feels like you're doing something creative, and you can do it while you watch the telly, listen to a podcast, watch YouTube, any of those things, but it feels like you're actually not, you won't be scrolling through your phone, and you will be doing something creative. For anybody who doesn't know, a diamond painting is effectively a big picture. It's painted, it's on, and if you can see that, it's got little tiny squares on it. Each of these squares, this is a sticky back, you've got a peely off layer here. Each of these little squares has the appropriate colour of a little tiny plastic bead put onto it, and you put the plastic beads on. You have a little tool like that to pick up the beads with out of a little tray like this, and you pick them up one at a time and put them onto the colour-coded thing. Super simple. I've done one before. I think I showed you I did a cat picture a couple of years ago, but I quite fancy dipping my toe into it again, so I thought I'd try. I really like this picture. Again, I will link that one below, but there's loads and loads to choose from, and they are literally, I think that from Amazon Prime was £4 for the whole kit, so super, super bargainacious. Number 6 is something a little bit different. This is called The Book of Me. This is sort of a legacy journal. It says a do-it-yourself memoir underneath. So there's various different versions of these, and effectively you write about your life and you have a book to pass on to your grandchildren and beyond once you've completed it. I just really liked the design of this one and the way it's set out, and it sort of talks you through how to fill it in. It's got sections where you fill in bits and pieces. Then there's a section, for example, my father, and it gives you prompts about what to write about. Some pages you've got more freehand stuff to do, but it's fairly guided, so it's not just an empty book. It says write your life story, and you can do it in chunks as well. I just thought this was a lovely thing to do, to pass on to family, because once we're gone, they won't be able to ask us the questions about our history and our lives anymore, and it's nice to have it. I think it's a nice exercise to do it yourself, to look back at your own life. Sorry about the sun, I know it's not great. Yeah, to look back at your own life, but also to pass on to family, as I say. I think that is a lovely thing to do, and there's different versions of this, but something nice to do during those winter months to reminisce a little bit and create something. So I'll obviously link that below. The next one, again, is something different from anything else I've suggested. It's called The Joy Club. Now, The Joy Club is an online portal aimed at mostly women, I would say, but possibly men as well, over 50, and could be over 40 actually, but women of a certain age, let's say, people of a certain age. And it has all sorts of activities. You join the website, and then you fill in what you're interested in, whether that's literature or art or exercise, or there's a whole great list of them. And then there are things you can join in with. You can listen to various lectures, or they're all at certain times. Oh, there's exercise classes, there's meditation, there's informational things, there's chats about travel and places to go, all sorts of things. You can do as much or as little as you like. You can register for the different classes. Some are at a certain time, some you can watch back afterwards, but just loads of different activities, just something a little bit different. And the best thing about the Joy Club is you can join. This is not sponsored in any way at all. I'm not affiliated to it. You can join for a month completely free of charge, and you don't have to put your credit card details in. You can just join for a month, see if it's for you, and then if you want to continue after that, there is a monthly fee. But yeah, certainly something worth trying, and again, I will link it below. We're up to number 8 now, and this is another sort of crafty one. Colouring or painting by numbers. That sounds very much like something I used to do when I was a child. But again, it's a simple, crafty activity. I am not a artistic person by any stretch of the imagination, but I can definitely do a painting by numbers kit. Sorry about the crackling. I bought this, do not laugh, back in lockdown because I thought I would do it. So it was only a few pounds at the time, but I've dragged it out again and I am definitely going to give it a go this winter. That is the picture. If I can still find it, I will link it below, but it's probably not available, but I will do my best. It's quite big. It's sort of quite a nice quality canvasy thing, sort of fabric. And if I put that up there, you can see the little different numbered sections, and it comes in a kit as well with, and I have checked all the paints haven't dried up. That's all the paint, so you get everything. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. Right, as usual, when my phone rings in the middle of making a video, I've completely lost my thread now. I was talking to you about painting by numbers, wasn't I? I think we've finally, after having it for 4 years, I am going to do it this winter. Right, my final idea for a little winter hobby or stroke activity is one that's a little bit more expensive. I saw this on can't remember the lady's name, Laurie, I think, YouTube channel. This, I just thought that, I've never seen these before. You make this, it's a kit. I haven't opened it, as you can see. It's a kit, and they're called Book Nook kits. I think because one of them was of a Book Nook. On the link for this one, which I'll put down below, you can see several different ones because they're all on one Amazon listing. But I chose this one, which is a little greenhouse with plants and things in it, and you put batteries in it and it lights up as well once you've made it. It looks very fiddly, but according to the reviews it's not too bad. Even someone not crafty like myself can do it. So I just thought this was so different and something that I hadn't seen before, and I just love the idea of it. So that's that. I will definitely show it to you when I've made it. Unless I'm too embarrassed and it's too dreadful, but hopefully it won't be. But yeah, this is called Kathy's Flower House, and yeah, I just thought it was lovely. So again, looking forward to getting stuck into that. I've got lots to do, haven't I? I hope you've got some ideas from that. Hope there's something in there that's maybe lit up inside your head and thought, oh yes, I quite fancy doing that, and something that will stop us doing this endless scrolling that phones and iPads and social media make us do. Lovely as they are for having a video chat with your son, as I've just done, they do suck us in and take up too much of our time, don't they? So yeah, I hope something in this video has tickled your fancy. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit that button and the notification bell. I always forget to say this, so you get notified. And I know that a lot of people who watch this channel are not subscribed, but yes, it does help me if you would like to subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.